Mataji, shall I start? Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurummilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dena Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishabhanostute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna. So we have completed 12 chapters. So just not revising the chapters, but in brief, 1 to 6 chapters we discussed about Karma Yoga. 7 to 12 chapters we discussed about Bhakti Yoga, about Bhakti in detail. And now in 13 to 18 chapter, we are going to discuss about Jnana Yoga in detail. But even though all these things, Krishna talked about so many things, but the essential conclusion of Bhagavad Gita by Krishna is the bhakti or the devotional service to the Supreme Lord is the ultimate. Okay, and we have studied how karma can lead to bhakti in chapter 6. Last 6 chapters, how jnana can lead to. Last means this 13 to 18 chapters, we are going to study how jnana can lead to bhakti. Middle 6 chapters, about bhakti itself we talked. In the last 6 chapters, mere jnanam, what we are going to learn is that it tells that just knowledge, jnanam, is of no use. It should lead to bhakti. See, it is, like you study very well, perfectly all your books, and you are 100% ready with your syllabus. And if you don't write the exam, what is the use? You will fail. Nobody will know, nor that you can't utilize the whatever you have learned. That way, by getting jnanam and then just keeping silence, that you know that doing this is wrong, doing this is correct, doing that is wrong, doing this is correct. But if you don't implement it in your life, what is the use of it? So the first 6 or the last 6 chapters gives jnanam and karma, and but they also tell that all of them should lead to bhakti. And then bhakti means it is nothing but serving the Supreme Lord. Dedicate to God. Our life should be dedicated to God. After knowing all this jnana, we should dedicate our life to God. In 13th chapter, Krishna in detail describes about Prakriti, Jiva, and Paramatma. Prakriti is the material nature, Jiva is the soul, the life, and Paramatma. We all know what is Paramatma, the Supreme Lord. Prakriti indicates the material body. Okay, now we will, I'll switch on the So here we are going to discuss, in this 13th chapter, we are going to discuss about nature, the enjoyer, and the consciousness. This is what is the name of the 13th chapter is. And we have discussed all this in chapter 12 about Arjuna's inquiries, progressive levels of bhakti, qualities that endear one to Krishna, and all that. Now, the chapter 13, this has got 3 sections. One is, the first one is 1 to 12 is Arjuna, 6 questions and Jnanam. And then 12 to 26, Gayam, object of the knowledge. Okay, Jnanam is nothing but knowledge. What is the use of getting Jnanam? Object, what is the use is what is discussed in 12 to 16. 27 to 35, Jnana Chakshu, that means vision of the knowledge will be discussed. So, Sloka 1. Yeah. Who will read this? Who will read?
Mataji, can I?
Yeah, read, Jitesh.
Prakritim Purisham Chaiva Kshetram Kshetra Nam Evacha Tad Veditum Ichami Jnananam Neyam Cha
Jnanam Jneyam Cha Keshava.
Jnanam Neyam Cha Kesava. Arjuna said, "O my dear Krishna, I wish to know about Prakriti, nature, Purusha, the enjoyer, and the field, and the knower of the field and of knowledge, and the object of knowledge." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Arjuna said, Arjuna, this chapter starts with a question of Arjuna. The total thing goes with that only, no? So Arjuna keep asking and Krishna keeps explaining. So here Arjuna is, "Oh my dear Krishna, I wish to know about," he gives 6 questions. He asks about 6 things to Krishna, which Krishna explains in this chapter. So he asked about, I wish to know about Prakriti, Purusha, and the field, and the knower of the field, and the knowledge, and the object of the knowledge. These are the 6 questions what Arjuna has asked, and Krishna is going to explain in detail. Prakriti means the material nature. The material all around is what is called Prakriti. Purusha, the enjoyer, supreme Lord. That means the only enjoyer in this creation. We call on a different context, we call some of the living beings as Purusha and some of the living beings as Stri. But as far as Bhagavad Gita is concerned, the only Purusha is Lord Krishna. That means the person who enjoys is the Purusha. The only person who is meant for enjoyment is Krishna. So all others are Prakriti. And that means who are meant for enjoyment, who are meant to give enjoyment to the Supreme Lord is called Prakriti. Prakriti, the nature, Purusha, and the field. The field means Kshetram. That is, Kshetram means the field, the material body. Field, what is field? You want to play cricket. So to play cricket, you need a field. And where will you play? You want to play chessboard, chess. You need a chessboard. That means to do everything, there has to be a material thing. That is called that is called the field. The field for the chess game is chessboard. The field for carom board is caroms is carom board. The field for cricket is a physical field. Similarly, here for the Purusha to enjoy also, he needs a field. That is called the Kshetra. Kshetrajna. The next one what Arjuna asked was Kshetrajna. That means the knower of the field. See, there can be a lot of things around which we do not know. So the knower of the field, that means we should know what the field is, who is the Purusha, who is the Prakriti, and all that. The knower of the field is called Kshetrajna. Jna means knowledge. Kshetra means field. The person who is knowledgeable about the Kshetra is called Kshetrajna. And Jnanam. Jnanam is nothing but knowledge. and Geyam, object of knowledge. That means what is the purpose of this knowledge is called the Kshetrajna. So this is what is explained in first sloka. Okay. Next one. Yeah. Krishna Priya, you can read.
Yes, Mataji. Shri Bhagavana idam shariram kaunteya kshetramityaphi diyate etadyo veditam praho kshetram na iti tadvidah. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, this body, O son of Kunti, is called the field, and one who knows this body is called the knower of the field.
Yeah, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, this body, O son of Kunti, is called the field. That means, how are we enjoying or how are we fulfilling all our desires? How is our soul? Our soul has got a lot of desires because of which we are acting. How is that happening? How is the soul able to fulfill? We want to do prayer. How are we able to do? How is the soul doing? How is the body? Because of this physical body only. So it's called field. And one who knows this body is the knower of the field. That means Krishna has answered the first two about who understands, two questions. Who understands the field? The body is called Kshetrajna. That is nothing but the soul. Soul is the Kshetrajna. This Kshetrajna, the soul, whatever Kshetrajna we are talking about is our soul, which is a conditioned soul. That means it fulfills its desires using this body. Otherwise, how can a soul fulfill its desires? It cannot. So the spirit of the soul, the first spirit soul, both are same. As spirit soul means for the supreme God of all are same. It knows that it has to serve. The soul knows that it has to serve the supreme. The conditioned soul is desirous and requires the body. But even though the supreme knows that we have to serve the body, and the soul also knows that the main purpose of the soul is to serve the Lord. But the conditioned soul, desirous, requires the body to fulfill all this. This soul is trapped in this body with the material nature. The moment we get onto this body and the knowledge, whatever knowledge we know about Supreme and all those things, if we don't utilize it properly, we get trapped into the body. That means we always keep getting attracted towards all the things around us. Based on this desirous domination, even though we know morning 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, I have to get up and do chanting, but I'm not able to get up. Why? Because of various desires and various dominations of these desires, I stay late in the night, or I'm feeling so comfortable in sleeping in the morning, I don't get up. That is how my soul is trapped in this body. Even though I know what is right, what is wrong, I'm not able to do. For this only different bodies are given to see. Why did we all know why we got these bodies? Why did we get these bodies? When we were in Goloka along with Krishna, we felt jealous of Krishna. We were always thinking, what is this? Krishna is the supreme and we are all his servants. Why we should serve him? We will not serve him. So we also should have. We are part and parcel of Krishna. As we are part and parcel of Krishna, why only Krishna should enjoy? Why he should be the Purusha and we should be Prakriti? We also should become Purusha. This is the kind of thoughts we had. And so what happened is, because of that, we had desires to enjoy all this, and because of it, the kind Father, the Supreme Lord Krishna, has created this material world and he has sent us here. So based on our desires only, we get the physical bodies. We know this now. Whatever desires we have in this body, we get it in the next life. That means I love to swim. whole life, I always feel like going to the swimming pool, going to a river, going to the ocean and swim, and get some great awards in it, or be successful in it. What will happen next life? I'll become a fish, because all the time I keep swimming. That desire is fulfilled. Suppose I am, I like to fly always, because as a material being in a material body, I always feel like flying in the aeroplanes. But the desire is so high, next life I'll be born as a fish. Sorry, as a bird. That way, based on our desires only, our next body will be taken. So through this body, the enjoyment is happening. That means the body is the place where the enjoyment is taking place. So this body is called the field or the kshetra. So kshetrajna, next one is kshetrajna. That is also Krishna has answered here. Knower of the field. That means jnana means knowledge. Soul means knower of the body. Kshetrajna is so the kshetrajna is different from kshetra. So kshetra is the place, and the person who knows about it is called the kshetrajna. One is permanent, the other one is not. That means the kshetra is temporarily, the body is temporary. We are born and we are dead, but the soul is permanent. The kshetrajna is permanent. The body, actually the body is meant to be used to serve God, but we use it for our sense gratification. But here we forget that both the material body and the soul, the kshetra and kshetrajna, both are from the God only. They are created by the God only. That also we forget. Harshit, will you read? Harshit?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Kshetrajnam chapi mam vedi sarva kshetra subharata kshetra kshetrajnyor jnanam yatyajnanam matam mama. O son of Bharata, you should understand that I am also the knower in the bodies, and to understand this body and its knower is called knowledge. That is my opinion. Hare Krishna.
Here Hare Krishna. Here Krishna is giving his opinion. Oh, sons of Bharata, you should understand that I am also the knower of all the bodies. See, as we know, the soul knows who we are. Like when it comes to the material body, the soul is forgetting who it is. Now we don't remember who we are, what our previous lives are. All those things we don't know. We forgot. But once the soul leaves the body, again it gets back its consciousness. As long as the soul is in the womb, it knows who it is. Similarly, the soul is the one who knows who it is, and more than the soul, and to understand the bodies. You should understand that I am also the knower of all the bodies. Here we should understand that Krishna is also the knower of all the bodies, because he is the creator, he is the supreme. He knows that. And to understand this body and its knower is called knowledge. This is my opinion. So here Krishna says there are two kshetrajnas. That means two people, to know about this kshetra. That is the soul and the super soul. Soul is ourselves and the super soul is Lord Krishna. Both know the kshetra. The supreme soul is better knower. See, we think we know the body. What is that we know about the body? We don't know anything about the body. We only know that it belongs to us. Our soul is using the body, but inside what is happening, all those things we don't know. We are totally ignorant. Something happens. Suppose a cancer is developing in my body. I don't know that it is developing. It is only the super soul who knows all this. He knows in and out everything. We only think that we know everything. Soul is in bodily conception. The soul always thinks about the body. That body, it is always in the bodily conception, cannot understand the kshetra. It can never understand the kshetra. We can never control our body. We only think we are controlling our body. But what we are controlling is, we want to lift the hand, we lift the hand. We think we are lifting it. But without the permission of the Supreme Lord, there is nothing we can do with the body. That we should never forget. The Supreme is the knower of all bodies, unlike humans. If at all we know little about we know about our body. But the Supreme knows about all the bodies in his creation. Why? Because he is the creator. And we all know that the body consists of all the senses. It consists of 5 knowledge senses and 5 working senses. Krishna is Rishikesa, master of Rishikesa, means the master of all the senses is called Rishikesa. The super soul is the original proprietor of the body, but the super soul is the soul is the secondary proprietor of this body. That means, like we own a house. We think this house is mine. I can do anything and everything about this. Nobody can stop me. If I want, I can build one more floor. If I want, I can demolish the house. We think we are the owners of it. But are we really the owners? Suppose we want to build one more floor. We need to get permission from the government. Why? Because it is the primary, it has got more authority than us. We are only under certain conditions, we are the owner of that property. Suppose the government feels it wants to lay a road there and it says, I am taking your house, we have to give our house. We have no choice there. Maximum, they will give us some money as compensation. That way, that means who is the highest authority on the house, what we own? We think this property is in my name. I am the owner. I am great. But it is not we. It is somebody else. It is the Supreme. We think, I think I am moving the head. But am I moving? Unless without the permission of Krishna, nothing works. I think I am taking the class today. But suppose Krishna doesn't want this to happen. But the power goes, the Wi-Fi goes, finish. You sit in your house, I sit in my house. Or more than anything, something can happen to me. My mouth gets shut. Nothing I can do. That means the controller is different. We are not the controller. We are only the primary controller. And also, in our body also, what is that we know? We know very little. We don't even know how many worms are there in the body, like infections in the body. What kind of infections are developing? What is developing in the body? Nothing we know. Only we don't even know the creatures in the body. So sometimes a lot of worms are there in the body, a lot of insects are there in the body. We don't know anything. It's only Krishna knows about this. And in the second part, Kshetra, here Krishna clarifies on Jnanam. Till now he clarified on Kshetrajna. Now he is clarifying on Jnanam. The knowledge of the body, soul and super soul is the real knowledge. Not just, it is just, the knowledge about just the body is not enough. Material things, etc., which the field is. Knowledge of the soul. That means knowledge of the soul means we should have knowledge about the soul and the super soul. Master, and we should know who the controller of this body is. Soul is the finite enjoyer and God is the infinite enjoyer. That means we can enjoy only to some extent, little extent, but God is the supreme enjoyer. Nobody can stop him. That is, there is no limit to his enjoyment. We have, like, enjoy means I like to eat a sweet. I love the sweet. But how much can I eat? I can eat 1 cup, 2 cups. That's all. Gone. My enjoyment is gone. That means my enjoyment on anything is limited. Unlike the enjoyment of Krishna. Krishna's enjoyment has got no limit. Pushkar, will you read?
Okay, Mataji. Tat kshetram yaccha yadrikcha yadvikari yat satcha yat sachayo yat prabhavascha tat samesane mesrunu. Translation. Now please hear my brief description of this field of activity and how it is constituted, what its changes are, where it is produced, who that knower of the field of activities is and what his influences are.
Now, please hear my brief description of this field of activity and how it is constituted. Krishna is telling, please listen to me. I'll tell you about this field of activity. About means the kshetrajna, kshetra, what its changes are, where it is produced, who that knower of the field of activities is, who is the knower of the field of activities, and what his influences are. He tells about 6 things about the kshetra and kshetrajna. He says, I am going to tell about the composition of the body. That means the composition of the kshetra, the qualities of the kshetra, the changes in the body, the original body, the powers of the knower of the body, the identity of the knower of the body. All these 6 things he is going to explain from now. What Krishna is going to explain from now is just like an index is given in this sloka. Yeah, fine. Krishna Priya, will you read? Last time Vishnu Priya read, no? Yeah.
ऋषिभिर्बहुधा गीतं छन्दोभिर्विविधैः पृथक् ब्रह्मसूत्रपदैश्चैव हेतुमद्भिर्विनिश्चितैः. Translation: that knowledge of the field of activities and of the knower of activities is described by various sages in various Vedic writings. It is especially presented in Vedanta Sutra with all reasoning as to cause and effect.
And the knowledge of the field of activities and of the knower of activities is described by various sages in various writings. It is especially presented in Vedanta Sutra with all the reasoning as to cause and effect. See, Krishna, as far as we are concerned, Krishna is the authority. But here Krishna is taking the names of others. Why? This should be a great example for us. When, see, you people, you children, you must be giving small presentations in your schools. They will give you talk on this topic. So you people go and present it. So when you are presenting it, you should take this as an example. You should never go and say something. What you should do is, you should quote something from a Vedic scripture or Bhagavad Gita or Ramayana, anywhere. Like all of you have completed 108 slokas, 100 slokas. All of you are Pandits. So you know all those 100 slokas. So when you are quoting something, you give a reference of sloka. When you are you suppose you are talking about on a teacher's day. You are asked to speak on a teacher's day without going and simply telling my teacher is great, that, this, that. Suppose you go and start your lecture with a sloka, whatever you learned in your SSP. It's like Guru Rana Sasyat, something like that. And then end the sloka with one more thing. Then what happens is, and then say, I learned this sloka, this is from Chanakya Niti, this is from Bhagavad Gita, this is from Mahabharata, this is what is said, the same I am quoting here. Then what happens is, whatever you are telling, in 2 ways, it gets empowered highly. One is, oh, this boy or this girl is so knowledgeable. He is telling Sanskrit slokas. He is telling, talking, giving reference of this. So they put more attention on your lecture, and automatically whatever points you are getting will increase. And also, lot of authenticity is given to your lecture. This is something, because all of you are SSP students, this is something very important for you. Wherever you quote, wherever you are asked to speak, you give a reference of one of the slokas you learned. But yeah, it has to be relevant. That means when you are asked to talk about food, you cannot go and talk about the guru. The right sloka, the right meaning sloka, if you start giving, then the impression what you carry will become more, and the authenticity will become more. So that way, here Krishna also, even though not required, he says, The knowledge of the field of activities and the knower of the activities is described by various sages in Vedic writings. He says, I am only not telling. It is given in the Vedic writings also. It is especially written in Vedanta Sutra. But who is the author of all that? It is Krishna only. In spite of which, he is telling it is all there. So here what we have to take is that just by reading the Vedas or Vedanta Sutras, it is just not enough. We have to in turn learn it from a guru or a sadhu. Only when it comes through their mouth, what happens is, like we just open the Bhagavad Gita and read the slokas. What do we get? We don't understand anything at all. Nothing we'll get. We will only think, we will only, some meaning, whatever occurs to our mind, occurs. But see, if you open Bhagavad Gita as it is, how is it given? The sloka is given, word to word meaning is given, a simple meaning is given. And why Prabhupada has given the meaning in so many lines? Because if you read all that, his understanding will become our understanding. And then we will get the right understanding. That is what is very important. So, next, Harshit, 6 and 7.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mahabhutani ahankaro buddhir avyaktameva cha indriyani dasekam cha panchendriya gocharaha ichchadvesha sukam dhukko sangas
Sagnata.
Sagnastaschetana dhritihi etat kshetram samasena savikram savikaram udastam
Mudahutam.
udartham.
Yeah.
Translation. The five great elements: false ego, intelligence, the unmanifested, the 10 senses, and the mind, the 5 sense objects: desire, hatred, happiness, distress, the aggregate, the life symptoms, and convictions. All these are considered in summary to be the field of activities and its interactions.
The 5 great elements: false ego, intelligence, the unmanifested, the 10 senses, the mind, the 5 sense objects, desire, hatred, happiness, distress, the aggregate, the life symptoms, the convictions. All these are considered in summary to be the field of activities and its interactions. Why all these are happening is what is explained here. What is the body made up of? We think it is just the 5 elements. Air, water, fire, ether. Earth, air, water, and fire, ether. So here Krishna says it's made up of all these things. What are they? The body is made up of 5 material elements, which is earth, water, fire, air, and ether. They are called. Then the next, it is made up of subtle body, that is the ahankara, the false ego. What is why normally we say ego, but in Bhagavad Gita, whenever Prabhupada says, he uses the word false ego. Why false ego? Ego anybody can have. Having ego means me is the knowledge. What is ego? Ego means I am great. That is what we call as ego. We think I am correct, I am doing it right, I am beautiful, I am right. That is what we feel ego. But that is false ego. What is ego? The right ego is, whenever you use the word false ego, we should know what is right ego. Right ego is, we should know that we are not great. There is somebody greater than me. He is none other than Krishna. We are his servant of servant of servant of servant of servant, n number of the servant. We are here only to serve him. We got this material body, which is an opportunity for us to go back to Krishna. This is what we should have. This is the right ego, which we should have. And what is that false ego? We should not have. Me, I am great, I am doing it, I know everything. This is what is false ego. Okay, so subtle body contains ahankaram, buddhi. Buddhi means intelligence, and ayakta, which we can't see. So ayakta. So all this is the three things, and then 10 indriyas. That is 5 knowledge senses and 5 working senses. The knowledge senses are eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. Through them only we get about the knowledge of this world. And the 5 working senses. The 5 working senses are again eyes, voice, legs, anus, and generators. Okay, and then the mind, the object. And then we have this tanmatras. That is how the object of sense, the objects of the sense objects are rupa, rasa, gandha, taste, touch, all these things. And then this is the entire body is made up of the 24 elements. This is the field of activity. Okay. So these 24 elements is described. And now non-devotees think that when they analyze the body, they don't connect all these 24 items to God. They think they are separate. Okay, God has created God, that's all. But a devotee does it. A devotee always keeps in mind that all these 24 items with which this body is made up of has to be in the service of God. Okay, and here this is what is described in the sixth sloka, and in the 7th sloka, Krishna says the changes in the body, how all these changes are happening. That is desire, hatred, happiness, distress, aggregate, the life symptoms, the convictions, how all these things are, what are these changes happening in the body. That is vikara. That means the changes are caused by, that means vikara means the changes are caused by desire, happiness, hatred, distress, and which happens because of these 24 elements of the body and the consciousness and the determination. And it happens because of the consciousness and the determination and lack of perseverance. Perseverance means continuation. We take up something, we have to do it till the end. So how all this causes the change is very important, very easy to understand. So as we said, the consciousness and determination is very important. The consciousness is something we should always be conscious that we have to be in serving of God. Determination to serve God. And lack of perseverance is we want to serve God. I take a decision, that determination is gone, no perseverance, and next minute I get into something else. See how these emotions, what are described in the meaning, affect the body. Like I become very sorrow, very upset. What happens? Tears come from the eye. Similarly, very anger, and my eyes become red. And all my feelings are shown on the face. Whatever is running in my mind is shown. When there is a happiness, I just keep jumping up and down. That is all the reaction of the emotions of the body. And frustration. What happens when I get frustrated? Whoever is there in front of me, I take something and throw on him. Even though the frustration is not because of them. And so that is how we do. And proud, the expression is different. See, when we feel proud, the way we treat others changes. We think we are superior to all of them. But we should always understand every human being has got some special quality in them. If that special quality is not there in them, he will not be born as a human being. He will not get this birth. Some special quality is there which has to be respected. And this proudness is normally shown by us in our expressions, which should not happen. And and these transformations in the subtle body, that is in our false ego, buddhi, ahankaram, normally influences the transformation of the gross body. Because when we are in a very good mood, and when we are in a very subtle mood, when we know the truth, we follow it, means we eat sattvic aharam, our body reacts in one way. When we eat aggressive food, our body reacts in one more way. When our false ego takes wrong decisions, our body reacts in a different way. So very important what our subtle body, and so the subtle body influences the material body. And also here the birth, and also he discussed about all these considerations summary to be the field of activities. And also then changes what also we know, that is the birth, the growth, the maintenance, the maturity, the deterioration, the death. These are all the physical changes that happens to any human body. Not human body, living body. Okay. Now, we are going to 8th to 12th. Actually, in Bhagavad Gita, all this 8th to 12th is given as a single sloka. So what we should do is, we'll go by sloka only. First, I'll read them. One of you read the meaning. We will read the meaning. Jitesh, will you read the meaning? Just the meaning?
Mataji, me.
Yeah, read.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, Pushkar, you want to read? Yeah.
Yeah. Humility, pride,liness, non-violence,
Yes.
tolerance,
Slow.
tolerance,
No, don't be in a hurry. Yeah.
simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, reunification of the object of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of the evil of birth, death, old age, and diseases. Detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest. Even mindness amid pleasant
Even-mindedness.
and unpleasant events. Constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of self realization and philosophical search of the absolute truth. All this I declare to be knowledge, and besides this, whatever there may be is ignorance.
Yeah. Humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of objects of sense gratification, means leaving the objects of sense gratification, absence of false ego. See, here he used the correct, I told you, no, false ego. Absence of false ego. You should not have false ego. You can have ego, that we are the servant of Krishna. So absence of false ego is important. The perception of the evil of birth, death, old age, and disease, and then detachment, freedom from entanglement with the wife, children, home, and rest. We always think, my children, what will happen to my children? What will happen to my wife? What will happen? And we always think, what will happen to me if I waste my life like this? Is something what we always forget. And then even-mindedness and pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in the solitary place, detachment from the general mass of people. Here he said general mass of people. You should get detached with the general mass of people, not with all the people. It is not required to go into a forest and say. You should be associated with the devotees. In English, we have a saying, tell me who your friends are, I'll tell you who you are. So if we associate with the devotee, we also become devotees. Accepting the importance of self-realization and philosophical search for absolute truth. All these I declare to be the knowledge, and besides this, whoever here I'm not able to read, there's something on this. Okay, so okay, so now we'll go to the sloka. Yeah, 8th sloka. Who will read? Pushkar, you read the 8th sloka? Just the sloka. Only one sloka. Krishna? Not there? Krishna Priya?
Yes, ma'am. Amanitvam adambitvam ahimsa kshantirajyavam acharyopasanam shaucham dhairyam atmavinigraha.
Yeah. So here in 8 to 12 slokas, it has been taken as a single one in the Bhagavad Gita book. He describes about the jnana. Till now we talked about kshetram, kshetrajna and all that. So process of acquiring knowledge. To acquire knowledge, we should have certain qualities. So in the meaning, we have seen what are the qualities we require to acquire the knowledge. Just by reading a book, you won't get the knowledge. Having the subject knowledge is different. Understanding the subject is different. See, that is, you understand in your books also, if you understand what you are reading, that concept, if you understand, you will never forget. But if you just mug up, after the exams are over, the next day you will forget. Because that is why our Prabhuji and all says, learning sloka Bhagavad. See, many are encouraging to learn Bhagavad Gita slokas. But we are concentrating more on understanding Bhagavad Gita slokas than learning Bhagavad Gita slokas. Why? What is the use of learning a sloka? I don't say learning Bhagavad Gita sloka is bad. It is very important. It's a very auspicious sloka. And even reading Sanskrit is also very good. But getting the meaning is what is more important. Only when we understand the meaning, we can implement it in life. You know, no, in the school also, when you understand and learn, you will never forget. Otherwise, immediately after the exam, you forget. So here, to acquire the knowledge, we should have some, for that you should have some qualities. That is humility, non-enviousness, tolerance, satisfaction, and so on. Such favorable qualities only we can get to understand. Only if we have all that, we will understand Krishna. And here two things are described. One is by, we have to be clear about two things. One is by developing these qualities, we get knowledge. And the second one is by getting knowledge, we get these qualities. Because when we when we develop these qualities, what happens? Automatically our mind starts thinking in the right direction. When it thinks in the right direction, we get the knowledge. And by getting the knowledge, suppose we don't adopt the first procedure. The second one is by getting the knowledge, we know what is right, what is wrong. So then we get these qualities. Answering Jnanam, from here 8 to 12, Krishna answers about Jnanam very elaborately. So here he says the soul is entangled to the body. To come out, one has to develop these qualities. We always think me, me, me. My body wants this, my body wants a fan, I want a fan. We don't say my body wants, but who is that wants a fan? It is the body that wants. Who is that wants a beautiful dress? It is the body that wants a beautiful dress. So we don't separate out. So that way. And 20 elements of knowledge Krishna explains in these 5 slokas. These are required for liberation also, for getting moksha also. So in sloka 8, what Krishna has explained is 9 qualities are explained here. One is humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, and self-control are explained in in the 8th sloka. That means humble enough. See, why humbleness is important? When we go to a guru, you know the sloka, no? We should be very humble. First thing is, when you go to the guru, what we should think is, the first thought is, I don't know anything. Only my guru knows everything. I have to learn from him. Is the mood we should have. We should not go, I know all these things. Let me see if my guru, that man also knows. If he knows, if I think he is good, then I will take him as accept a guru. That means you are going with a negative mind. If you go with a negative mind, you can never learn anything from him. So that humbleness is very important. Pridelessness. This is not being anxious to be famous. I have to top in the class. I have to come first. I have to be the class leader. That is not important for you. What is important to you is, I have to learn more. I have to learn. That is the spirit you should have. Non-violence. That means it should not cause suffering to others unnecessarily. Here the word unnecessarily is very important. That means sitting in the class, you beat somebody, or you give a complaint to your teacher on somebody, and the teacher punishes him. So that is unnecessarily you are doing. Whereas, and then eating non-vegetarian, just for your hunger, you are causing trauma, pain, whatnot to other animals. Is it required? No, not required. Why are we doing? When my grandmother used to say in Telugu, Nalika tadite narakam. That means something which goes beyond the tongue is hell. That means you eat more. What happens? It goes into the stomach and it causes all sorts of trouble in the stomach. Similarly, anything only for the satisfaction of our tongue, we are doing so many wrong things. So why we should do it when that is not the right thing? And also, when we say non-violence, it does not mean that a soldier goes into the war and then says non-violence. Krishna said non-violence. I am not going to fight. That is not the spirit. He has to fight. Even Krishna encouraged. Where this Bhagavad Gita take place? It took place in Kurukshetra war, where Krishna encouraged war. So, encouraged war. So here, what we should understand is, where required, violence is required. Where not required, violence should not be there. Like a military person in the war field, he kills 1,000 people and he gets a Paramavira Chakra. And he is very happy. For killing so many people, I got this. And after coming home, he comes on a holiday and there is a quarrel in the next house. So he has a gun, he takes the gun and kills the other person. Immediately he'll be put behind bars. The same person with the same gun killed some people there and got Paramavira Chakra. Here he is put behind bar. Why? Because the circumstances are different. Where required, where you are authorized, where you are supposed to do only, you have to do. Not just do whatever you like, wherever you like. Next one is tolerance. That means shanti. Tolerate everything. That means little cold, get upset. Cold, how can it be so cold? Little hot, my God, I can't take this. Little unpleasantness, get upset. So that should not be there. In many slokas, we learned all this. So that tolerance should be there. Somebody says something, your friend says something unnecessarily, immediately you should not get angry. Okay, it goes beyond a limit, you should respond. Definitely we should respond. But just say something, immediately we should not respond. Just tolerate, keep silent. One day he will only realize that tolerance we should have. Simplicity, to be straightforward. Little diplomacy is okay when there is a real problem, but not all the time. If you are all the time very diplomatic, then people will only never believe you. You should be straightforward, talk to the point. No, don't talk more, don't talk less, but be nice to everybody. And serving the bona fide guru. Serving to the bona fide guru is the most important. That will improve our humility, humbleness, cleanliness. We have to be not just enough to be clean outside, externally. Your mother will take care of your cleanliness outside, but you should be clean at heart also. That means all the qualities which I have talked now should be implemented very much by all of you. Steadiness, that means not getting tempted. Now I have taken a decision not to eat non-veg. The next day I see somebody eating there, I should not get tempted. See, that will come when you take a decision. You should know why you have taken the decision. You should be convinced with your decision. If you are convinced with the decision, you will never get tempted to it. Never ever you will get tempted to it. The simple, I think I might have told many times. See, I was eating egg till I got into Bhagavad Gita about 3 years, 4 years back. Non-veg, I gave up about 34 years, 35 years back. But egg about 4 to 5 years back, I used to eat. Then once when my guru was talking about Bhagavad Gita, I don't know where it has come. He was talking about vegetarian, non-vegetarian, eggs, vegetarian eggs and all that. He said, see, whether the egg becomes a chick or not is secondary. Leave it aside. But the hen, which is laying the egg, doesn't know that the egg is a useless egg. It thinks that the egg is going to become a chick. With the same spirit, a woman delivers a baby, the hen also lays the egg. And see, if a mother, 1 second a baby is not seen anywhere, the kind of trauma she undergoes, the same trauma the hen also undergoes. There are, in the villages, you can see, when there is a snake or somebody comes to eat the eggs, or when this eagle comes to catch the chick, then the way the hen protects it, you can see. That means it struggles. The way we mothers struggle for the children, the hen also struggles. It has got the same heart. The heart which I have towards my children, the same heart the hen also has towards its eggs. And when the egg is not seen, it also struggles. But it has no voice. It cannot say, where is my egg, where is my egg, where is my egg? And it cannot give a police complaint. So it just keeps silent. That means you are causing that kind of a trauma to the hen to eat the egg. This is what my guru said. My God, that's it. I could never eat egg anymore. And I never get tempted for egg. Why? Because I am convinced that not eating egg is the right thing. So I'll never get tempted for an egg anymore. Then I thought I gave up non-vegetarian, I'm giving up egg, everything I'm giving up. How come? Let me eat egg, I thought. And I prepared egg curry in the house. I could not put it in the mouth because I know what my children are to me. So the same feeling when I think the hen has, I cannot do it. So why and immediately I gave the curry and all the eggs to my 7 minutes, said take it. So why I'm taking this example is because I'm convinced that eating them is wrong. I gave up. I will not get tempted because Prabhuji has taken a promise for me not to eat. If I stop eating, then I'll get tempted. That is so getting convinced on any decision we take is the most important. Here I might have taken the example of a egg, but if this same thing is applied for taking. It can be for getting up in the morning. It can be for doing japa. It can be for playing at the right time, studying at the right time, all those things. All those things. Okay, so that is steadiness, not getting tempted, and self-control. Steady. So self-control means what you have to do, you have to do. Don't get tempted. You have to play in the evening 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. You have to play. There's a very good movie coming in the TV. Don't get stopped. That playing is important at that time. And 7 to 8, you have to study. Whatever some visitors have come, let them come. You study. That is what is very important. Self-control. That is what is important. Okay. Sloka 9. Who will read? Yeah, read. Whoever read. One of you read. Who is ready? I am not able to hear anybody.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, Harshit, read.
Yes, Mataji. Indriyatsu vairagyam ahankara eva cha janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha dosha nudrasanam.
Dukkha doshanudarsanam. We know, no? Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanudarsanam. This sentence 100 times we repeat in Bhagavad Gita. There's janma mrityu jara vyadi, birth, death, old age, disease is the root cause for all the problems. This we studied in SSR in day 1. Okay? Right. See, here what he's telling is renunciation of the objects of sense gratification. That means we should just leave whatever is giving happiness to our sense gratification, to our material body. What is required for the material body only should be adopted by us, not all. Absence of false ego. Again, he's telling false ego. We told no, absence of false ego, not ego. False ego absence. The perception of evil of birth, death, old age, or disease. It means we should know that because of all this only, this 4 is happening continuously. Birth, death, old age, and disease. We got into this cycle because of all this sense gratification only. I want this, I want this, I want this. Take one more life and have that. Then again, I want this, I want this, I want this. One more life and you will have it. Misidentification with the body. I means Padmavati. No, it is not Padmavati. This is Padmavati's body. That is what I should understand. I and so, always, everything we think I. This is the subtle body identification. We should have the subtle body identification. Okay. So, Vishnupriya, 11th.
Yes, ma'am. असक्तैरन भिष्वाङ्ग पुत्रदारागृहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु.
Yeah. So here he is talking about detachment, freedom from entanglement. That is my children, my wife, my home, my rest, everything. My. We think one story which always we always talk about. No, once there's a man. Because of his previous lives, goodwill or whatever it is, Narada came to him one day and said, "Why do you want all this? Come, I'll take you to Moksha." Then he should have simply gone. And man said, no, my children are still young. Let me take care of them. Once they grow big, I'll come. So afterwards, again, Narada comes. He says, no, my children are there. And now my children have to get married. Then again, he comes, no, my children are not settled well. Something like that, he said. And once Narada comes, this man is not there. And Narada inquired, they said, that man has died. Oh, and then Narada looks around. Then he sees a dog there. And Narada recognizes him as the person he has taken the next life as a dog. Why? He was so much attached with the body that he is not able to leave the house. So he became a dog and he was running around the house, taking care of the house. Then Narada said, at least now you come. He says, no, these children are useless. They are not at all taking care of the property. I still have to take. Then Narada comes. Then he realizes that the dog died. Then again, he looks around where this man is. He will be there as a snake. Then he's a snake. And then why he is guarding the farm in the form of a snake? He is not able to detach himself. He doesn't understand that it is not the body. And so then what happens is somebody realizes that there is a snake there. Immediately his sons itself, they come out and then they beat the snake with the stick and kill this man in the form of snake, keeps crying, "Arey, I'm your father, don't kill me. But he keeps shouting like that, they kill him. Then he realizes the mistake. That way we think, if I am not there, what will happen? Nothing will happen. But it doesn't mean that we have to detach with everybody. We have to be attached to the extent required. Children means the parents' responsibility to take care. Children's responsibility is to take care of the parents, but not go beyond a certain point. Like do anything for the children. No, we should give them the right knowledge. Parents also, we should take care of them. Things like that. And everything. Even my a mist of pleasant, unpleasant events. That means good will be happen. Life means it is like a waves in the ocean. Up and down, up and down. One day very happy, one day very sorrowful. In spite of that, we have to be even-mindedness, steady. Responsibility, take care, not attached. Here we have to understand that it is our responsibility to take care of everything around us, not get attached. It is your responsibility to study, but don't study for winning over others. You have to study to get knowledge. You have to do the right study. That is what is responsibility. Okay, that way you have to do. Sloka 9, 11. Who will read? Pushkar, will you read? or Krishna Priya? Will you read? Both of you are there, or only one of you are there? You look so similar. I think. Both of you are there. Krishna, one of you read.
मयि चानन्ययोगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम् अरतिर्जनसंसदि.
So in Sloka 11, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, that is to Krishna, most important quality for all. If we have this, till now we talked about 20 qualities required for in that stanza, whatever I have read after this, we talked about 20 qualities required. So here Krishna says, the only quality required is constant and unalloyed devotion unto me, which is important. If we have this, all the 19 will automatically come. Staying in like-minded association, that means it is not that we have to run away from the people. You have to stay with people who will take you to Krishna, not who will take you away from Krishna. That is very important. I tell you, every Saturday, Sunday, I try to go to Prabhuji's class. Why? Okay, listening to Prabhuji's lecture is one, but I prefer going there to get attached for the association of the devotees. That association keeps me in Krishna consciousness. Getting Krishna into Krishna consciousness is very easy. Some little fortune, what we do in our previous life, we get into Krishna consciousness. But we very easily slip out because the Maya acts so powerfully. It acts more on us. It will always take us away from. I tell you, it is such a powerful thing. For the last 4 weeks, we didn't have class. Today, I had to struggle to come and sit in this class. When I was preparing for the class, I thought I forgot everything. That way, it just takes away from it. So that association, meeting every week is most important. If not with me, some devotee, you have to be connected with Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, you are away from Krishna. Out of mind, out of sight is out of mind. This is one saying, out of sight is out of mind. Just don't forget these words. Aspiring to live in solitary place, detachment from the general mass of the people is very important. Last one. Who will read 12th? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Pushkar, will you read? Harshit, will you read? Who is ready?
Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, read.
Mataji, third one, no Mataji.
Yeah, third one.
Adhyatma jnana nityatvam tattva jnanartha darshanam etaj jnanam iti proktam ajnanam yadakto anyata.
So the last one. Accepting the importance of self-realization. That means we should have realization that we are the soul and not the body. And philosophical search for the absolute truth. We should know what is the absolute truth and we should search for it. All this I declare to be the knowledge, and besides this, whatever there may be, ignorance. Concludes, this is what Krishna says. He says that the philosophical search for the absolute truth is important. All these things are, I declare them. Means Krishna declares them as knowledge. Jnanam. We talked about jnanam. So Krishna says this is what is the right jnanam. And besides this, whatever there may be is ignorance. Whatever we think is the right is just ignorance. Ignorance means it's wrong thinking. Krishna concludes saying that all these 20 are the knowledge. Krishna says these 20 are the only knowledge. Because only a person who has all these 20 qualities is the knowledgeable person. All these 20 qualities are given below. Hare Krishna. We shall stop here.